Now, moving on to our next topic. Who else but SIG? Of course, SIG can't seem to spend any kind of extended time out of the news. So, let's talk about LFD Research's It NDs Today video. In this video, they actually took a look at no less than 4 separate P320s and discovered a number of different things. But the biggest thing, at least for P320 owners, is the revelation that there is a potential specific issue with the combination of a 10mm or /45mm magazine safety lever being installed in a 940 or 357 SIG fire control unit. I believe previously I had misstated based off of other reporting that this was an issue with the 40 Smith & Wesson. My mistake. I just wanted to quickly correct that here for the record. But as well, the LFD's research showed that in this particular configuration, these parts can be combined together and cause incomplete and improper sear engagement and result in what they are able to demonstrate, which is literally a SIG P320 being shaken slightly and going off well in a SIG Sauer P320 holster. So, well, this is not necessarily a smoking gun for literally every single P320 unintended discharge video that's floating out there around the internet. This does, at the very least, give us a solid thing that we can point to as this is likely the major root cause for the issues and concerns. Another piece of reporting and things from LFD's research that can be shown is they looked at a number of different pistols from a range of model years from, I believe it was about 2016 or so, all the way up to about 2022. The 4 different pistols all showed changes between them. And actually, some of the previous reporting was suggesting that SIG Sauer moved from a stamped to a MIMD part for the striker safety lever. That was actually incorrect, and I want to reiterate that here. For that particular part, it does look like, based on the manufacturing dates from LFD research, the particular part was moved from being MIMD to stamped, not the other way around. But I don't think that entirely invalidates the concern that there may be tolerance stacking issues with these particular guns. As they note in the video It NDs Today, as well as the extended interview that they did with Focus Trip. It's about 2 hours long. You should go and take a look at that particular interview because they go into even more depth and detail than they do in their already 25-minute long video. But they explain that of all of the 4 guns, they had changes to parts. Now, well, some of these were simply minor changes to aid in manufacturing and things like that. The 20 has undergone a number of revisions and changes to a gun that is really supposed to be a completely modular and completely configurable platform. And when you add all of those different changes and start potentially mixing and matching and changing things around, might end up in a situation where you can potentially inadvertently install a 10/45 safety lever into a 9mm 40 357 SIG FCU and cause this particular issue. But on top of that, there are also rumors still swirling around that SIG has potentially released pistols with that particular configuration from the factory. So that doesn't necessarily absolve them of any issues either. But to but to go back to some of my previous reporting, when a lot of these things were first starting, I think SIG should have and probably did know about this particular issue at the time. I mean, how could they not have known about this being a potential problem? They not do enough testing? I mean, seriously, they never went through and did weird parts configurations to try and see if they could break anything before really releasing this gun to the public? Like, seriously? That never happened at SIG? I have a very hard time believing that. But if they had gotten ahead of this issue and instead of releasing their "it ends today" statement, said, hey, there's a specific parts combination that you guys need to be aware of that can be dangerous, they could have shifted the whole narrative on this particular issue and really avoided a lot of the firestorm that they are currently dealing with. They might have been able to potentially even just sweep this whole thing under the rug completely. But no, they had to say that it ends today, start attacking the Second Amendment community and the people who are legitimately concerned that unsafe firearms are out there in the wild. But I just have to reiterate that I don't want to see SIG crash, burn, and fail completely as a company. But this particular version of SIG, the one that is being run by Cohen right now, that needs to die. He needs to go. The upper leadership at SIG all need to be very publicly kicked out and replaced with new people. They need to say mea culpa in a very public fashion, and with videos coming out like this from LFD research and even being confirmed from Ray Guns, who was actually able to reproduce this particular issue on their own and posted to Instagram confirming this, SIG, I really don't think has much of a choice but to fire a whole bunch of executives, own up to the issues, and eat a number of lawsuits. Otherwise, I think they're just going to continue to circle the drain, continue to have all of these trust problems, and I really am scared for SIG that they might not be able to survive this seriously. Because in a day and an age when the federal government is looking for things to cut down on needless, wasteful spending, is it really so far outside of the realm of possibility that those fancy new guns that I know the Army really, really, really wants, but are they really, really necessary? And couldn't somebody convince the powers that be, especially in the executive branch, that it might not be a good idea to spend a whole bunch of money on a firearm, two firearms, really, as well as an ammunition contract that has all kinds of supply chain disruptions to attach to it, as well as other issues in terms of safety and reliability concerns, that's worth millions, if not billions of dollars in terms of future spending that could be allocated elsewhere? Are we sure? SIG, are you 100% sure that you are not jeopardizing that military contract with your actions? I don't know. I'm fairly certain that SIG greased quite a few palms to lubricate the process, if you will. But who knows? I mean, this is ultimately speculation. I can't say for certain that that's what happened. But with the drop safe issue, the continuing stance that there's nothing wrong, and their continued efforts to sidestep this issue, I really don't see SIG backing down from this anytime soon, and I think it's going to end up making them crash and burn hard. But who knows? I really would like to know your particular thoughts on LFD and their particular findings. You guys own a SIG, a P320? Have you had any issues yourself? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what your thoughts are on SIG. Can they redeem themselves in your eyes? Please let me know. But of course, Sig Sauer doesn't want to face the music, and they don't want to be held responsible for their actions or lack of action. So they have turned around and convinced New Hampshire lawmakers to grant them immunity in the face of lawsuits over the P320, in a move that I find completely baffling. SIG has actually managed to convince lawmakers to sign a bill into law to give them protection. Governor Kelly Ayotte signed the bill one day after it cleared its final vote, despite objections from some Democrats as well as lawyers and injured plaintiffs who say the company should be forced to defend the claims in court. The speed with which the bill moved through the state house underscores both Sig Sauer's desire to cut off future costly lawsuits and the company's sway in a legislature run by gun-friendly Republican Party. Now, obvious political bias aside, I think that we really can agree that it's probably not a good thing for any company, even a company we might necessarily like, to have undue influence within a state's legislature that gives them immunity from suit in that state. SIG, this is just going to make your PR nightmare that much worse. Everybody who is outside of New Hampshire is going to want to see you that much more. And I really can't blame them. So, at this point, SIG, I don't know what to do with you. I really don't. But let me know what you think about SIG's particular backroom dealings here, because that's obviously what happened. Anybody with two eyes can see that they sped this thing through the New Hampshire legislature to try and protect themselves in this state. And, well, I disagree with the characterization that this is just because of gun-friendly Republicans. I think this is because of backroom dealings, lobbying efforts, and a firearms manufacturer playing dirty tricks with the federal government, or excuse me, with the state government.